All right, audio is on, camera is recording. Let's get it. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, you little freaks. Give you guys a quick little ASMR. It is bright and early. It's like 6:30 in the morning, and this is probably going to be the fastest episode of Banged Up you'll ever get. It's a quick podcast. It's a short cast. I don't know. Works with me though. But yeah, I had a podcast planned for this morning, but turns out I actually have a physio appointment in let's say 30 minutes from now. So we're going to make this podcast real quick, but it's going to be sick. All right, first order of business. What I've been up to lately. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of the same stuff. I've been doing lots and lots of skiing. I've been actually putting in hella work in skiing, and the kid is getting his legs back. And I've been doing lots of gym stuff and lots of MMA. The MMA's kind of gone downhill a bit. I haven't been doing it quite as much because I've been doing lots of skiing instead because I have a contest in Aspen in a week and then another one in Calgary. So I've been training for those. Yeah, I've been training for those pretty hard and getting excited. I blew my binding off the back of my ski the other day, which kind of sucks, but shout out to Chris at K2. He's getting the kid set right back up and ready to send again, so that's good. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about, I have some podcast topics on my phone. I try to write everything down in advance because I'm not very good at just freeballing it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still new to this. I try to make it the least cringy as possible, and having kind of notes and topics of what I want to talk about, it works well. Also, I have a lot of random stupid ideas that float through my cranium on a daily basis. So whenever I think of those dumb things, I write them down to talk about later. With that being said, we'll move on to some other things. Also, check out this. This has got coffee in it. I fucking love coffee. Actually, that should be one of my topics. How much I love coffee. You know what one of my favorite things is, actually? One of the things I've liked the most lately? It's been like my little... What would you call it? I don't know. It tickles my fancy. Coffee mugs. I love coffee mugs. Like pouring coffee into a random coffee mug that looks dope as hell and is like cool and got some wicked designs, and then sipping out of that coffee mug it's probably better than sex. Anyways, recently I have been talking to a lot of you on Snapchat, and actually it's kind of weird. Snapchat works really well for social media stuff, other than the fact it's hard to grow. But it works really well because I can talk to you guys person to person, other than DMs. DMs don't feel as personal. But then you always get creepy people on Snapchat. I don't know. But one thing I've noticed is a lot of people on Snapchat are just sad and down on themselves. Holy fuck. It doesn't make any sense to me. I had no clue how many people were I wouldn't say depressed, but probably depressed. Just not happy with their life or asking for attention. I don't know. But I get 50 Snapchats a day of people just talking about how much everything sucks, and I'm trying to be I try to kind of going on the other thing that I was talking about earlier, but I try to be just keep moving forward. It's yeah, shit sucks, but I mean, you can do better. You can do more. You can push towards new things. You can push towards something you want to do. But it's just holy, so many people, and I think a lot of it has to do with social media in a way, because a lot of people do spend their time looking at what other people are doing, and they're just why can't I do that? And then they don't realize how much work actually goes into getting there, and how much work actually goes into being at that place where these people are, and they're posting and stuff about. They just think oh, I should be able to do that too. And honestly, we are so fucking privileged. I was listening to a podcast. It was Joe Rogan podcast, actually, with I'm pretty sure it was the one with Ash Dykes, and the crazy cunt walked all the way across China or something stupid like that, which is actually super dope. I want to do something like that, not to that extreme yet, but I'm definitely doing a 100-mile race at the end of this year, which is going to be pretty sick. I'm definitely doing an ultra marathon at the end of this year, which is going to be pretty sick, but nothing at that level. Anyways, it's just crazy to hear him talk about it, because he's literally deep in the forest of China, where these people literally have nothing. They don't even have they obviously don't have cell phones, but they don't have anything. They just have food and family and super hard times and stuff like that. And these people are more than willing to help him out, give him their food and stuff for free. They don't even want anything from him. It's an insult almost. It's crazy to see how appreciative those people are of what they what little they have. And then you have people over here who kids who literally have absolutely everything that they could possibly want, and then they're just They're pussies. Anyways, on to the next. We're going to bring up meditating for competition and stuff. So I've been doing a lot of meditating for my contests and stuff. I use the Headspace app. It works pretty well, actually. They have a little meditating for competition section, and I've been using that a lot. It's basically like teaching you how to let go of, like, for me personally, when I compete, I overthink it a lot, and I think that's been a problem with, like, performance, like, when I'm competing, like, not bringing, like, what I'm, like, not doing the best I possibly can, because you're, like, overthinking it, and you're like, what if I don't land, blah, 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 or, like, I have to land, like, I absolutely have to land this, or, like, this is, like, the run, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna land this run perfectly, like, I have to, or, like, overthinking it, or worrying about it, or, like, thinking you're gonna do it too much. It's really not good for your performance. And what a lot of research has told me that I've been looking at has been, like, it's all about just letting go and, like, being in the moment. Obviously, you want to get in, like, that flow state or whatever the hell it is. But just basically, you don't want to overthink it. So the meditating's been a lot of, like, bringing yourself back into the moment. And, like, I've made kind of a drop-in, like, routine. Like, for you guys don't know what I do slopestyle skiing. So you start at the start area. You drop in from there, obviously. And you get a couple minutes to, like, prepare yourself or whatever. It's not anywhere near where it needs to be right now. It's helped a lot because I work nights at the ski hill. So when I'm skiing at night, I've been practicing on, like, using that technique and stuff. And I can tell you, like, the consistency has gone up, like, 50% of, like, just landing, like, full runs and tricks and stuff, which is super sick. So if you guys need any help with that, I would definitely suggest meditating. That shit works. Next thing, because I literally have, like, 5 minutes, we're going to do questions real quick. I asked you guys for some questions last night, and you guys sent some in. So, with that being said, let's get to it. First order of business, we have a question from Hunter Scott. Hunter Scott, you're an absolutely beautiful person. And he said, tell us about snowblades and if they're coming back. First of all, snowblades are probably the world's best invention. They're skis that are, like, a foot long. They're like, it's like riding down a ski hill with hockey skates on, or, like, a little bit bigger than hockey skates. And they're sick. You can do pretty much anything on them, except for the fact that they're really hard to land and ride because they don't have as much tip and tail to catch you. But they're definitely making a comeback. I'm going to release a little edit of me dressed up dope as fuck in some retro-ass costume, just doing some stupid shit on snowblades soon. So I'm really stoked on that. And yes, snowblades are the shit. Next, we got Hayes Benson. For your podcast, I'm starting to get into park kind of stuff, and I don't know where exactly to start or how. They said it would be nice if you could explain that kind of stuff, please and thanks. Yeah, no problem. So if you're getting into park, the first thing you should do is you should get all your bases covered. Like, if you want to take it seriously and, like, get to the point where you want to compete, or you want to be able to, like, film and ride well and, like, make good edits and stuff, you need to have a well-rounded game. Nobody likes a guy that can just spin just left, and you don't want to be that guy that can just spin just left and hit a rail just with your regular way. First thing you want to do is you want to work on hitting, like, boxes and rails and jumps, spinning all four ways. So you want to hit rails and boxes, switch, or backwards both ways. You want to spin off jumps both ways, even if it's just off little tiny jumps, like 5-foot jumps, doing 180s, switch 180s. Like, work on hitting everything, every single direction you can. It's way better to be well-rounded than not to be. Then one of the big things I would say is if you want to do a lot of switch hitting stuff, which you should, because switch is absolutely sick, spend like 3 or 4 laps every morning just riding down the ski hill backwards, looking over each shoulder, working on, like, getting comfortable with that. And then the next thing is you got to keep pushing yourself. Obviously, you don't want to push yourself to get hurt. It's the hardest thing to avoid in skiing if you're pushing yourself. But if you push yourself too hard and you get injured, then it sets you back forever. So you want chill, controlled send. And another huge thing is pick one thing you want to work on that day at the ski hill and work on just that all day. For the rest of the run, like the rest of the park, do whatever you want. But in that one jump or that one rail, do that over and over and over again till you get it in your head. And then once you got it figured out, keep doing it. And then the next day, pick something else and work on that for the day. It's the easiest way to get better at this stuff. There's also a lot of little tips and stuff like that for, like, spinning and stuff. You want to have good edge control. When you're spinning, you don't want to leave your legs behind or your torso behind. You want to bring your knees and legs with you. So everything in your body comes with you. You jump and you spin. Your knees, your chest, your shoulders, everything spins together, especially when you're beginning. When you get it, like, really good, you can, like, shifty and do stuff like that. What's up, little man? Breakfast? Come here. We got a little code man. He's entering the podcast zone. Bright and early, eh, bud?
Yeah.
I'm shredding a little mini podcast. Say hi to the camera.
Hi.
No, it's up there.
Hi.
There you go, big guy. All right, I'll come up for breakfast in a sec. All right, yeah, so I got to wrap this up very quickly. I have a lot more questions from you guys that I will touch base on in another episode if I don't get to them in this one. But I have them all saved, so don't worry. Your questions will be answered. Also, I really appreciate you guys sending me questions because I find it's a lot easier to talk about questions you guys send in than just random bullshit, especially when I'm doing a really quick one like this in the morning and I didn't plan it out. So, yeah. Anyways, we got a good one here from Jeff Lovelace. He's one of my old ski coaches, actually. He's a really sick guy. He said, thoughts on the X Games format this year? I think it wasn't a bad idea for big air, but for half-pipe slope, I found it was hard as a spectator to keep track of who landed what on what runs. I can't imagine the judges found that easy. I would have preferred the old format for slope, at least. Thoughts? All right, so if you guys don't know, they changed up the format for X Games this year. It's always been you get 2 runs, you take your best run, you win. Big air is a little different. Big air, they take your top 2 best runs, and then they add up the score. For slopestyle and halfpipe, it's always been you get 2 or 3 runs, and they take your best score of those 2 or 3 runs. And that way it's easier to compare runs. And it actually works really well. The problem with it is if you mess up any little tiny thing in those runs, you lose. But that's also part of the sport. And that's what I was talking about by doing meditating and mental performance to help yourself get to that state where because literally in slopestyle skiing you can't even touch the ground with your hand. You can't come off the rail a tiny bit early. In the X Games especially, if you come off the rail and your noses are still on the rail, but you're not fully centered on the rail, they deduct you a bunch of points. If you just whiff a grab or just barely grab it, you get deducted hella points, and that could be the difference between you winning and you losing. This year they changed the format to be an overall impression, so it was a jam format. So they gave the riders I think it was an hour or something. You just keep going and doing runs and runs and runs and runs until the time's up, and then they take overall impression. With that being said, all the riders got 5 runs, but they had to do something different in each run. You're not allowed to do the same run over and over and over again. Whereas in a normal slopestyle contest, you would only do that one singular run, your best run. But here in this new format, you saw people doing not as hard of runs because they had to worry about landing more than just one. They had to try to land as many runs as possible in that time. And it's pretty gnarly because you're doing a triple on one jump, and then the next run you have to hit switch and do a switch double 14 or something. I don't know. It's different for sure. I think he's onto something with what he said about being hard to follow because they didn't have live scoring. When you do it the other way, they have live scoring. You know exactly who's in the lead when. Here they had live scoring-ish where they just told you who's in the lead, but you don't know by how much. You don't know why they're in the lead. You don't know what their score was for that run. I think it's hard to follow. I personally think it's a really good idea to keep the overall because the sport's getting to a point where if you just have the typical slopestyle format where you just have 2 to 3 runs and they take your best run, it's just way too gnarly. People are going to get hurt. Just people are doing insane tricks now. And yeah, it's cool to see that stuff. But it's also cool to see people that have just a very strong skiing style in general. There's a lot of people that come out nowadays that are very good at contests, but just contests. They're not strong skiers. They have their 3 contest tricks for slopestyle, and they have their set contest rails that they're good at. But if they have to go outside that and try different axes and different rotations and stuff, they're not there. They're incapable of doing those well and with grabs and stuff. And it's really cool to see really well-rounded riders do very well in X Games now that they have the overall. So I think I'd like the overall to stay, but I think I would like a better way of following along and a better method of keeping track of who's in the lead. I would like to see live scoring of each run that individual did throughout the contest, and then have that to compare and add up. Last question, and then I'm going to bounce out. We got one here. When is the Cali vlog coming out? I've been waiting forever. I don't know when that vlog's coming out. I have a lot of other vlogs to edit, and I'm going to get to that one eventually. Podcast topic, are fridges foldable? I mean, it depends on how you look at it. The door folds in, I guess, but it's on hinges. I don't know. Fridges foldable? I don't think fridges are foldable. But actually, no, anything's foldable. If you get one of those big hydraulic presses and something, you could fold it. I would say fridges are foldable. Then we got up here from Brianella. I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry. How do you have time to ski, work out, and do everything else you do at the time and still make time to be with friends and family. I'm going to come up in a second for breakfast. Thank you. And also, I love the ski content. Thank you very much. How do I make time for friends and family with all the bullshit I'm doing in my life? To be honest, it's actually not been easy, and a lot of my friends and family stuff has kind of slipped a little bit, especially the friends stuff. I don't hang out with all my good friends that we used to just sit around and do stupid shit with all the time, but it's good because I'm super busy with all this stuff and I like doing this stuff. But I would like some extra time to go spend just doing stupid shit with them. But that's also part of the reason why I'm doing this, because hopefully I can get to a place where I can do stupid shit with them and I have more free time to do stupid shit with them. And also I share it with all you guys, because honestly, you guys would be really surprised with all the shit that we get up to. Very comical, and it's interesting. And I would love to share it with you guys more often. And that's part of where we're going to go with the podcast and the Living with the Kid episodes and all that other nonsense. Because we do some really stupid shit, and it's really entertaining. Yeah. We are going to wrap up this podcast right there. It took way longer than I thought, and I'm definitely going to be late for my physio appointment, so you guys are welcome. In the future, I want you guys to send me video questions too, along with when I ask for questions on Instagram and Snapchat. You guys can send me them through there, DM me or Snapchat me or whatever. But ideally, I want to get some sick video questions from you guys that I can put up on the screen and everybody can watch, and it's easier for me to answer and go to, and it makes it more personal. So I'll put an email in the bio down below that you can send all your questions to, and yeah, we'll do it that way. From here on out, I'll be answering all video questions you guys send in the future. We'll get a little more into depth into things, but this is just kind of a quick podcast to ease your soul. I'm leaving for Aspen in 10 days, like I said, so I'm trying to bang out as many podcasts as I can, and then I'm just gonna edit them in the airport and all that other bullshit. Then I can throw them up online for you guys. I will film some out of the studio or the basement studio, whatever. I really do like having the background here and all this stuff. It makes it more legit. I mean, obviously it's not there yet, but it will be there. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Bruce is out.